Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? It is a wonderful morning actually. The birds are singing. There's a beautiful sunrise, or there was a beautiful sunrise back when the sun was rising. And we have spent a very relaxing evening. I took the little tractor home with me last night, and on the way back through I actually bought a small weight for it, but we'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to set this combine going almost immediately, but before I do that, we're up to 26 pigs. The next one is due in just 2.5 hours, and we're below 6 hours on the reproduction rate now, which is good. That's rising quite rapidly. Another few days, it'll be well below 5 hours. If we can get another couple trailer loads soon, that is really going to drastically reduce that number and bring that number up. So we'll get above the 100. That is our target. The 100 pigs is our target. During the night, we about broke even on all of our expenses and everything, with the milk coming in for the cattle. So that's doing well. We could do with some more so that we could actually make some profit on them, but for now we're at least covering all of our expenses, which is good. So we no longer have like a serious drain on anything. My weekly question this week is: we are going to be using square bales. That is what everybody voted for last week. So do you want me to use the Arcusin FX6372, which is it's a 16 bale Arcusin? It will go out to the field. We automatically stacks all the bales into the machine, bring it back to the yard, tip it up, and hey presto, you have a stack of bales. Nice and simple. Or we could use the much cheaper Arcusin. This is a 3 bale one. And this one, generally, you wouldn't drag it back to the yard with this one. You would just go around the field and leave the bales in 3s. Sometimes these are even towed along behind a baler, although I don't think we can actually do that in this game. And it leaves the bales in 3s, and then you go out with a telehandler or a front loader or something and a trailer, and you load them all up and you bring them back and unload them, and you have to do it all yourself. So it's your vote. It's your game. There should be a card come up here so that you can cast your vote. And let me know which one you want. Head into the comment section and let everybody else know why you're voting for the one that you're voting for. Now then, let's just pick this up. We're going to get stuck straight into these beans. I'm going to head down here and... hang on. Nope, I want to go there. Right, let's start up. We'll go down this side and we'll do one pass along the bottom so that we can turn easier. I'm actually going to engage the hired help. Purely because I don't want them turning right onto the end of the field, because what it'll do is well, I think the trees over there are going to cause trouble for us anyway, but I don't really want them turning in the pond, because what they do is they drive right down into the pond and they go just a fraction too far, and then we lose our tractors, or in this case it'd be a combine. That's not a good thing. We don't want that to happen. So let's just see what's going to happen. I am going to sort of try and monitor it as we get a bit closer, and we'll see how far down into the pond he goes. I'm hoping that he might actually be able to do it, although it doesn't really matter either way, because it's too close up that end, so we don't really want it there. Now this is the bit, because it's so steep, it does seem to struggle. Yeah, here we go. It's driving back into the pond. And this is the worst bit, is it's going to back up. No, stop. Oh. Okay, yeah, I think if it had gone much further back, we would definitely have lost our combine then. So, you do have to be very, very careful with this. So, let's just come over this way. No. I'm so worried I'm going to lose my combine. Right, let's, I want to try and bring it over this way, and then I want to try and turn. Right, things is not going quite as well as I hoped. It's not a good idea to wash your combine while you're using it. It can make a bit of a mess. Right, now if we go up this side of the field and then turn and come back just once, we should be far enough up that... I'm just going to engage a hired help again. Hopefully it can be trusted to do this job. Right. Hopefully we can do this now. So we will go up this side and we'll turn around at the other end, and then we'll come back down again, and that should be far enough back from the pond that we can then just leave the hired help to travel up and down the field without getting itself into any kind of trouble. We can bring the tractor and the trailers over so that they're ready, although I don't think we're going to need 2 trailers. I think I could just take off the first one, rather the back one, the 4-wheel one. And turntable trailer. It's not necessarily a 4-wheel one. We could take off the turntable one. Is the hired help going to struggle on this bit? Yes, it is. Already struggling. Because this is a bit where the corn sort of went on to... The beans went on to the next stage of ripeness. And so then they got driven on while the planting was still carrying on. Slight problem. Because we keep everything on the 5 times speed to try and keep it all the same. It does kind of lead to the odd issue with things like this happening. But I mean, it's not a major problem really, is it? So let's just come back in here. You know, I really should have picked the header up then when I was doing that. And go up through here. I engage a hired help again and let them do some. And hopefully everything is going to be just tickety-boo. So yeah, we'll get our tractor and trailer over here so that they're ready. We'll just put them on the side of the field over there. And then I'm going to get the small tractor, the one that I bought the weight for last night, and I'm going to hitch the cultivator into it, and we're going to start cultivating that field over there. Although, actually, do we need to plough? I've got a feeling we need to plough that field, don't we? Let's have a look. Growth, soil comment. Yes, we do. Right. That one up there, or those two up there, they're fine, and so is field 19. But field 14, we're going to actually need to plough it, so we'll get the plough onto the little tractor. I think it will be okay running a plough. There's no guarantees on that one, but I think it's probably going to cope with it. Right then. Even if we come all the way down here, it should be okay. Yeah, don't drive too deeply in the water. We get it. So it should be alright for turning. We'll probably have to come back and just monitor the situation in a minute. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Right. He's going to carry up here. Excuse me. He is going to carry up across the field, and we are going to zip over and get the tractor and trailer and bring them over beside the field here so that we're ready for offloading, and then we can have a look at getting a plough hitched on. Hopefully our small tractor can cope with it. Right, bring this one back here. I'll do a bit of this from in cab if I can. And we'll hitch on this trailer, and like I said, I think we'll unhitch the rear trailer and we'll just use the one for now. And if we're finding that we don't actually need the second trailer at the moment, I don't think we'll sell it. I was thinking, oh, maybe we could just sell the trailer, because if we're not going to be using it a lot. We'll keep hold of it for a bit, because it is useful for going up to the pigs, because once you get up to the pigs, you know, taking the different grains, if you've got 2 different trailers, obviously you can do 2 at once, which does make the job a lot easier, because you've got so much variety for the pigs. I know there are actually mods that you can get now, so you can load up the different types of grains into a feed mixer, but I've got no plans to use one at the moment. I'd like to try and do it the way that the game originally intended, and then we'll have a look at getting feed mixers for the pigs at a later date. Probably we'll leave that until we move on to a modded map somewhere. I think it would be really cool. It'd be an absolutely brilliant thing to be able to do. Right, if we stop here, should, yep, and cover our tractor in beans. I'm going to just spin round here like this, and I'll leave the tractor there and turn it off. So let's just go and have a look now and see if this combine is actually going to not drive into the water. It's going to be close to the trees up there, but the hired help is normally pretty good at avoiding that. Oh, he's doing it just fine. Or she, I should say. It's a she this time. She is doing it just fine. She's doing an excellent job. Right, we got no problems there, so we'll go and get the other tractor now, and we'll get that one hitched into the plough and make a start on ploughing the field over there. Right then, we get the plough one. We're also going to need some fuel. We're just about empty on this tractor. It wouldn't do to be running out. We don't actually have a fuel bowser that we can cart around just yet, so I've no intention of buying one just yet. We come back up here. I'm hoping actually we wouldn't need to buy a fuel bowser on this map, because we have the fuel tank here at the farm. Right, how is the tractor coping with it? It seems to be just fine. I don't think there's any problem with that. It's a little bit light on the front, but with the weight that we bought, it does seem to be compensating for it quite nicely. Doesn't seem to be any issues there at all. So we'll come over this way and fill up with fuel. There we go. And then we'll go and get started on the ploughing. I think we will do what we've done a few times now, and that is plough a line across each headland and then start doing the land work. I mean, we don't really need to on this one because it's quite a short field, but I know a lot of people like to do it anyway. I mean, you can't do the real way that you would do it in the game, because what you would do is you'd lower the plough down but just have one furrow touching the ground so that it just carves one line across. As we can't actually do that, we just kind of simulate that we're doing that. And it's not just, I've explained a few times the whole situation with sleeping as you plough and waking up on the headland and things like that. But it's not just for that you would plough the line. You also plough the line along the headland so that you've got a marker, because as you're travelling up the field, it gets a bit difficult to see exactly where you should stop and lift out the plough for turning round. You don't always get it lined up just right, and there's a very good reason for wanting to line it up, because when you come to do the last like the headlands on ploughing, you do the land work first and then you do the headlands last when it comes to ploughing. And the reason you do it like that is because you don't want to be trying to plough up stuff that you've already done. Now obviously there is a bit of overlap when you do your headlands, but by sort of ploughing a line along the field, your plough lines for the land work, they all finish at the same point. It's very, very difficult because of the angle of the plough. If I stop here a minute and I lift out, you can see that the plough, it doesn't finish in a straight line, does it? So you end up with a sort of a big, a lot of V shapes all along the end. And because of those V shapes, because of the odd shape of it, it's difficult to judge exactly where to lift your plough. So if you don't have like a marker line telling you where to, when to stop and lift, it becomes quite difficult and it becomes a lot more uneven. So then when you go back across to do the headland, that last bit where you actually end up ploughing some of it twice, it is always going to happen. There's no way that you can avoid it. But if you've got it in a dead straight line and you've got a marker to show exactly when to lift your plough, you minimise the amount of double ploughing that you've got to do. And if you don't have that line, unless you're a very experienced operator, you will have a very untidy end to your field, and that ultimately results in a lot more double ploughing, which is a bad thing, because the double ploughing, even the best ploughman will end up with some of the stuff that you're actually trying to bury back up on top of the surface. And especially if you're ploughing up old stubble, doesn't tend to be quite as noticeable, but if you're ploughing grass, it's very, very noticeable when you don't get it right. Those little bits of green sticking up across a field, it's a matter of pride for any ploughman to make sure that everything is properly buried. So that's why you would plough a marker along the field. And I've seen a lot of different people ploughing over the years, and almost all of them do it to some extent. I know that there are people that just, quite frankly, don't really care, and then of course there are the ones who are experienced enough that they can actually line it all up by eye. But they're better people than I am. They are definitely better people than I am, because I've never been able to line it up by eye. Although actually, to be honest, I've not actually done that much ploughing in my life. I've done all sorts of different jobs, and some jobs I've done a lot of, some not so much. Ploughing, definitely not so much. I've only ever done a couple of fields. I did alright with it. I didn't actually set up the plough. You've got all these different bits on the plough that you've got to set up. Even just getting the right tensions and that on the different bars, and getting them set right, and setting your wheels to the right depths and stuff like that. I didn't have anything to do with setting it up. It was already set up for me, and it was a flat field, so there needed to be no adjustments whilst I was working on the field, which I was a bit disappointed about. It is something that I would like to have learned. It's a skill. Setting up your plough and getting it right, if you're a farmer, is definitely a skill that a lot of farmers need to have. A lot of farmers would like to have. And it's not one that I've ever actually learned yet, which is a little bit disappointing to me. Who knows? Maybe one day, though. Maybe one day. Anyway, I have been rattling on about ploughing for quite some time. Our combine has probably got a fair bit of grain in it now. We're going to take a quick look, see how it's doing. It's nearly halfway across the field. What I'm thinking is we're only half a tank. We'll let this one carry on for a while. I would like to move up to the other fields before the end of the episode, because I think it's going to be Well, it should be fairly simple actually to move up to the other fields, because we've just got the back road, won't we? We're not going to have to deal with any traffic or anything like that. It should be fairly simple, because I mean, if we bought some other fields around, it might be a bit more difficult moving this combine about. But I reckon we'd buy a bigger combine before that. I mean, this one will do for now, but yeah, I think we would definitely buy a bigger combine before we to try to do too much road work, because the width of this header, and we know for a fact that this header cannot go onto a header trailer. The combine just can't pick it up high enough, which is a real shame. I am genuinely disappointed about that. It's something that I feel was a bit poor, really. I think that that's really a game error more than anything else, because in real life, even those combines would be able to lift the header up. All combines can lift the header up high enough to get it off of the trailer, off of the header trailer. Not necessarily a universal header trailer. Some header trailers are obviously a lot lower than others, but because we've only got universal ones, we don't have one specific to certain combines. That's kind of what we're stuck with. So yeah, it was a bit of a disappointment for me. So let this one come down here, and he'll turn round. Again, he's going to have to go through these bushes, which is something else that I didn't really like. The fact that we couldn't remove them. It would have been nice if the roller could have rolled them out flat. That would have been very cool. And the same with the plough. You can't plough them in either. I did run a quick test to see if maybe that had changed between the last game and this one, but unfortunately it hasn't. So you do have that right there where they drive through the bushes. I mean, you could drive the combine through long grass. I've done it myself, but you wouldn't really drive it through bushes like that, because it would damage the header. The strength of the bushes would actually do a bit of damage to the reel on the front. Turn the tractor off then, I didn't mean to. So let's run down alongside the combine now, and we will unload, and then I will let this combine chug on across the field, keep going until it's just about finished, and I will catch up with you then, so that we can just finish up this field, see how many beans we got out of the one field, and then we can move the combine up to the fields near the pigs. Our brand new fields that we got up there. I'd quite like to, I mean, the steep one is going to be sort of interesting. I'd like to see how the combine copes with that really rough patch that we've got up the top. Not really sure what it's going to do with that one yet. Might be alright, but on the other hand, it might really struggle with it. I know sometimes combines sort of struggle with rough ground more than any of the other machines. I will see you when I have finished this field. Alright, there we go. We've just about finished the field. I've only just emptied it. I actually ran over to the tractor just there to empty it out. We had the hired help going in the field, and then I thought, well, I'll use the GPS for a while, which seemed to do really well. Mainly because you can turn it a bit faster on the headlands. That's about the only reason to use it, and it was quite successful, so I was quite pleased with that. Last one now, and we've got exact full width, which is just what we like to see. So yeah, we've got just about a full trailer full out of this one field, so I think that we will actually hitch on the second trailer to head up to the other fields, because there's more land up there than there is in this bit. If you have a look, field 19, the area here that we've actually got is not as much as we've got up here. We've got quite a bit up here actually. Field 14, they've just about finished doing the ploughing in there. Helper G is doing that. So they've just about finished doing that. Coming along quite nicely there. I was just wondering, what should I give for a topic of discussion today? Because we always like to have a topic of discussion. And I was wondering, what are we going to plant here in these fields? I was kind of thinking that maybe we could plant the same crop across all the fields again. But then I was thinking, no, actually I don't think we will. I think we'll split it. We'll put two crops. We'll put one crop down here. So we'll plant the same in these two fields. And then we'll plant a different crop up in the other two fields. So we've got two separate ones. So really what I would like you to discuss today in the comment section is, what crops do you think I should grow? Root crops are not an option, but we can have anything else, because we've got the other header over there. That means that we can actually handle any other type of crop. So we can do all of the standard ones, you know, the wheat, the barley, the canola, and the beans, obviously, and we can also do corn, and we can do sunflowers as well, because we can use that header. We don't need a sunflower header to do it. So yeah, which crops would you like to see me grow? I've just done a load of beans, and case you're wondering, what have we got? We've got plenty of barley, so we've got the barley and the wheat. We've got 2,000 litres of beans already, and we got loads of corn, so we've got plenty of everything, because we're going to be topping up the beans now with a whole load more. We don't need a particular crop for the pigs, and I know I haven't actually done the video that I'm going to be doing at some point yet about the yields. I do know that it does depend. The prices actually have a huge effect on what is the most profitable one to grow. And if you grow, because it does show that, on the face of it, beans seem to be the best value. However, if you just grow beans, the price of those goes way down, the price of everything else goes up, and beans no longer become the most profitable. Now, we want to go slow across here. It's a rickety old bridge, and we've got a massive, great big combine here. Look at that thing. That is fantastic. Okay, we don't want to go too fast along here. I'm really not sure that bridge would actually cope with this combine going across it, but there we go. So yeah, what would you like to see me grow? And yeah, so if you grow exclusively beans, you will end up not making as much profit out of it because of the way that the game now works, which I think is absolutely brilliant. They're all quite well balanced, actually. For profits on each one. Obviously you want to grow a variety, and you want to keep selling the best priced one, and then you will make the best amount of money. On the face of it, wheat and barley look like they're the worst of the two, but that's not taking into account the straw. If you sell the straw, they actually become the best two to grow. They do actually do better than the other two because of the wheat and because of the straw, rather. That's what kind of makes it up. So it is worth growing all the different crops. They're nicely balanced. There's a beautiful balance to them. So really, it's all down to what you guys would like to see. I've done loads of beans now. We've done beans across everything. We have grown some corn already, and we started out with a bit of barley. I think we grew an extra field of barley as well. Or did we start with wheat? I think we started with wheat, and we did grow some barley as well. So, yeah, we've covered a few of the crops. There are a few that we haven't done yet. I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to do just one pass around the edge, just on this side and going up the hill, and then I'm going to move into the other field so that we can do some of the rough area, and we'll sort of finish up in that field. I don't know yet if I will finish. You could also let me know in the comment section if you think I should finish this field before next episode, or if we should do a bit more in our next episodes. Well, it'll be the next episode. We're also going to be getting started on cultivating. We've got to cultivate all of the fields and get ready for planting. And also the sugar beet should be just about ready to harvest in the two fields that we want to buy. If I can, I will try and get some more work done for some contracting work off screen. That's beautiful. I love going up steep hills with the machines. It does look quite impressive as it struggles its way up. It would look even more impressive if I could drive in a straight line. There we go. Yeah, fantastic. So if we get well, actually it doesn't really matter if we get what was I going to say? Straw, because we can't afford to buy the baler yet. So I know that the question is about what we do once we've bought a baler, but we can't afford to buy one yet. That's not going to be for a little while. I'm not quite sure when. I'd like to buy, remember I asked you about the tractor. I'd like to try and buy the tractor before I buy the baler. I think that the Zeta that we've got would struggle to pull the big square baler, so we are going to need, I think, the tractor to do that rather than the Zeta that we've got. I'll probably sell the smallest Zeta, but there's no guarantee on that because it is handy having three tractors. You can set one going with a small seed drill or a cultivator or something like that, and it does really help. So before we go up this really rough patch up here, this is a bit that we struggled with up through here when we were planting. My question for this week is, we are obviously getting square bales, so do you want me to use a small Arcusin, the 3 bale one, or do you want me to use the 16 bale large Arcusin that will bring them back to the yard and stack them all up for us? It's your vote, it's your game. Mouse over the little circle up here and cast your vote, and head into the comment section and let us know why you're voting for the one that you're voting for. And now we see how well it's going to do. Probably, actually, we're going to do just fine. I don't think it's going to have any problem with it whatsoever. Ooh, it's a little bit rough, a little bit bouncy, but it does seem to cope with it just fine. Probably it would make a much bigger difference if we had a much larger header on the combine. I know that if you've got huge headers on it, it gets a bit stuck, jams itself up, and then the combine starts trying to twist around, and you have all sorts of fun and games with it. And we're actually, if we just come up to here, if we stop, oop, nope, and back around, I'll turn it round, ooh, careful, and I'll run back down here. This is where I bounce the combine, and then we'll go back up across the field again from this bottom end. So it should go all the way up to the top, and then I will leave you as we are running. Well, we have just about run out of time. Come back through here and there. Oop, nope, I want to do that, and I'm not going to engage a hired help just yet. I'll do this myself. Come up through here, and see, this is a bit, I really struggled on this bit with the seed drill. I had to go over this a few times at different angles. You can see just how rough that bit is there. I mean, for the combine, it doesn't really seem to make... Oh, it is! It is, look! If you move over just a little bit, the header is actually getting stuck on that bank. There's a couple little bits that it's actually getting stuck on. So yeah, it does struggle with it a little bit. It's not a huge amount, it's not sort of a major issue, but it does struggle with it a bit. I'm going to do a couple passes along that top headland there, so that the hired help doesn't get stuck up against the bars there on the goalie, on the goalposts, I should say. Should be okay. I know that it does all right when it's like planting and stuff like that, because it just stops and picks up, but we don't want it to be driving on the crop here. Now that we're actually combining, if it does that and does the whole backing up thing, it drives right onto the crop and squashes a load of it. I did have that problem in the last field, and I had to go back over it and do another couple of passes on the top end, just to make sure that it wasn't trying to turn in a funny fashion and squashing a whole load of it. I mean, it was squashing a fair bit of the crop. I was quite surprised at just how much it was destroying there. There's not a lot we can do about that now. It's a big lot of crop that's left down the side of that field, and he's gone and planted potatoes in there, which I'm not too pleased about, because I was hoping at some point to buy that field. By the time I'm actually ready to buy that field or do some more work on it, those potatoes will probably be gone, so it won't be a massive, won't make a massive amount of difference. Anyway, that is all I've got time for today, so if you have enjoyed this episode, please head down below and give us a like, and if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me, get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar, goodbye, and see you later.